Well met, adventurer. You are come to Stillglade Fane, home of the Conjurers Guild. We conjurers harness the powers of earth, wind, and water that abound in nature, and thereby weave spells of healing and protection. Ever do we seek noble souls to initiate into our mysteries. Might you be such a soul, come to join the guild? Then allow me to provide you with an overview of what it is to be a conjurer. Conjury is the art of healing and purification. Its practitioners harness the power of nature, that they might bring about change in the form of spells. Primitive magic such as that once wrought by individuals known as mages, meaning those with the ability to manipulate ether, has existed since the dawn of time. It was not until some 5 centuries ago that conjury emerged from this shapeless agglomeration of spells and charms, an event which led to the founding of Gridaniad. In those dark days, the elementals would not suffer man's presence in the Twelves Wood, forcing our forebears to make their homes beneath the earth, in the great subterranean city of Gelmira. But their desire to settle in the Twelves Wood continued to burn fiercely. Time and again they sought to curry the elementals' favor. Unlike men and other creatures bound in temples of flesh, the elementals are beings of pure ether. Recognizing this, the mages of Eld reasoned that their talent for etheric manipulation might allow them to commune with these theretofore enigmatic entities. It took 5 long decades, but our forebears finally succeeded. Their reward, the elementals' permission to dwell in the Twelves Wood. So it was that the nation of Gridania was born. Since that time, the elementals have taught us to live as one with nature, speaking to all Gridanians through the healers, those mages who are able to commune with them. And for their intimacy with the elementals, the healers would go on to attain greater mastery over the forces of nature. Thus did they conceive the art of conjury. And that, my most attentive listener, is a brief history of conjury. If you have a mind to walk our path, I wholeheartedly recommend you join our guild. It would be my pleasure to explain the initiation process to you. Pray speak with me again when you are ready. Is your mind made up? Are you ready to join the Conjurers Guild? That is well. I shall introduce you to our guild master, Brother E-Sumi-Yan. Brother E-Sumi-Yan presides over the Conjurers Guild even as he serves the nation as a healer. You will find him in the meditation area within. Go to him, and make known your desire to join the guild.
Greetings, adventurer. I am told you wish to become a conjurer of Stillglade Fane. I am Brother E-Sumi-Yan, master of this guild. Before you are formally accepted into our ranks, I would impart to you the principles of conjury. Pray attend me well. Conjury is an arcane art that takes life and the living for its domain. Its primary purpose is the salving of hurts and the granting of protection. Adventurers such as yourself oft stand upon the front lines of battle. Owing to this, you are like to find yourself in many situations wherein a capacity for healing would be advantageous. Mind you, there is more to conjury than that. By harnessing the power of earth, wind, and water, conjurers are also capable of weaving spells that wreak havoc. In terms of sheer destructive power, conjury may pale in comparison to thaumaturgy, but its capacity to defend one against aggression more than compensates for this relative shortcoming. In mastering healing and purification, not only will you be able to mend wounds and purge afflictions, you will also be able to breathe life back into the fallen. More than simply healers, yet not true dealers of destruction, conjurers realize their full potential when they employ their powers in support of others. This, my dear adventurer, is what it means to be one of us. Mayhap that was too much to grasp upon a single hearing. But worry not, for the meaning of my words will become clear to you in due time. You will come to understand that conjury is not the sole province of the conjurer. Should you wish to walk our path, I must needs ask that you solemnly vow to embrace nature, to heed the will of the elementals and the 12s wood alike. Can you make this vow? I knew your answer ere your lips had parted. Yet I am no less pleased to hear it. By the power vested in me, I hereby name you a member of the Conjurer's Guild. If you would be so kind as to lend me your hunting log, I shall add to it the names of such creatures as would pose a suitable challenge to a conjurer. And to mark this momentous occasion, I present to you this cane. Though it may be old and weathered, it will serve you well as you take your first steps upon the path of the conjurer. Take up your cane, Cater, and present yourself to me once more. I would assign you your first task as a conjurer of Stillglade fame. The part of conjurer becomes you, Cater. Without further ado, I shall assign you your first task as a conjurer of Stillglade fame. Just beyond the city gates, you will encounter squirrels, ladybugs, and funguars. I would have you slay 3 of each. Lest you wonder how I can so coolly order the taking of life, know that things are not as they once were. As a consequence of the calamity, and, I may add, through no fault of their own, these creatures have become a burden to the 12's wood. A burden it cannot well bear. As a conjurer, it is your duty to carry out the will of the forest. And by employing your powers in so doing, you will come to learn something of your art. Go now, Cater, and perform your first task in the name of the elementals. Welcome back, Cater. The elementals have told me of your success. By placing yourself in the midst of nature and seeing it with a conjurer's eyes, you have taken your first step along the path to enlightenment, healing, protection, and destruction. Though our spells vary in function, they all derive their power from the same source, the forces embodied in all creation. By gaining a true understanding of these, a conjurer may call upon them to manipulate his environment, thereby realizing the state of being that he desires. Ah, yes, yours is a familiar look, the very picture of confusion. Be not disheartened, for comprehension shall come in due time. For now, you must learn to reach out to the forces embodied in each of us. Pray hearken to mine instructions. Breathe deep and open your eyes to that which cannot be seen. Feel the myriad life around you, and draw upon this boundless reservoir of energy. Take up your cane, and use it to lend that energy form. Go forth, my young conjurer, and be at one with the world. Return to me when you have learned to draw upon the forces around you with the self-same ease you draw upon those within. The next conjurer quest will be available from E-Sumi-Yan upon reaching level 5. It is good to see you again, Cater. By the air of serenity that surrounds you, it is plain you have learned to draw upon the energy of creation. I am glad. It is the wellspring of all our power. Yet the energy of creation is not one thing but many, and to call upon all without first knowing each is conjury at its most basic. As a part of your continuing education, it is my desire that you now learn about the element of earth. Make your way to Blessed Bud in the North Shroud, and there partake of Hieronalanal's wisdom. The depth of his affinity for the elementals of rock and soil is all but unique amongst conjurers, and he is a gifted instructor besides. You may be certain of receiving a most enlightening lesson on the subject of earth. You seek Hieronalanal? Then seek no more, for you have found him. What can I do for you, friend? So Brother E-Sumi-Yan bid you come to me to learn of the element of earth? That is well. The power of earth is the solid foundation upon which a conjurer stands. I could happily lecture you for days on its intricate variations and properties. But I rather suspect the busy life of an adventurer would not afford the time required for such extended discourse. Accordingly, I shall offer you an opportunity to experience the qualities of Earth firsthand, in combat. Now mark me well, Cater, and do exactly as I command. East of here, in the grounds of Tree Speak Stables, there exists a patch of soil that bears the mark of corruption. Seek it out. When you have found the place, reach out to the focus of the Earth's trauma, and attempt to commune with it, as all conjurers can. Resentful of your intrusion, the tainted being that feasts unseen upon the energies seeping from the wounded Earth shall then appear. Using the powers of Conjury, strike it down, and permit the land a chance to heal. Much of the nature of Earth will be revealed to you during the struggle, Cater. I trust you will return to me a wiser man than he who now departs. Welcome back, Cater. The elementals whisper of your accomplishments. How did it feel to confront that embodiment of Earth? To endure its onslaught? Has the crushing power of this element shaken the very marrow of your bones? Corruption occurs when the land's wounds are prevented from healing. In vanquishing the tainted sprite, you permitted the Earth's energies to flow unimpeded, and to nourish the land once more. Can you not sense the strength of the Earth returning? Already, the land begins to heal. Thanks to your actions, that field will once again bear bountiful crops. When next you have reason to call upon your art, look back upon this task and that which you accomplished. Experience once more the grinding weight of the Earth's fury, and revel in the memory of life flowing anew through the land you helped restore. With such thoughts shall your understanding of nature continue to grow. I hope you were paying attention, Sylpha. See this adventurer here? Cater came all the way from Stillglade Fane just to hear my lesson. You would do well to learn from his example. If you wish to become a conjurer worthy of the name, you must make an effort to study nature. Do you attend me, young lady?
Why should I bother studying nature? I can conjure already. See?
You have a rare gift for healing, Sylpha, a wonderful gift. Yet there is more to being a conjurer than.
But I don't want to do more. I want to heal. I'm good at healing. You can't make me do those other things.
Sometimes I wonder why I even try. Sylpha joined the guild shortly before you came to us. As you yourself just experienced, she possesses a prodigious talent for healing. Indeed, despite her tender years, I know of few conjurers who are her equal in that field. Alas, nature, the very wellspring of her power, holds no interest for the child, and when she should by rights be learning about the land, she prefers instead to wander it, healing people on a whim. You, in contrast, have been a most attentive student. I have taught you all I know of the element of earth. You may report back to Brother E-Sumi and tell him as much. Ah, Cater, you have returned. But tell me, how did you fare under Nalanal's expert tutelage? Have you delved deep into the earth and felt its suffocating weight? Its life-sustaining vigor? Such experiences will serve you well. And have you aught else to report? A fledgling conjurer named Sylpha cast healing magic upon you. How kind of her. I must confess to sharing Nalanel's frustration with the girl. As you yourself have witnessed, Sylpha possesses a natural talent for the conjury of mending and restoration. Alas, her gifts appear to have blinded her to the need for study, and she outright refuses to learn about the natural world. She knows nothing of the elements of earth and wind, and is quite incapable of conjuring even the tiniest pebble or the faintest breeze. I have tried upon numerous occasions to explain to her that conjurers who are ignorant of the source of their power pose a risk to themselves and others, but all to no avail. Should she continue to deny the debt she owes to nature, and indulge in ever more reckless displays of power, there is every possibility that she will create a dangerous imbalance. Needless to say, I am presently at a loss to know how such an eventuality might be prevented. A thought occurs to me, Cater. It may be that your encounter with Sylpha was ordained by the elementals. Should you chance to meet with her again, I ask that you strive to impress upon her the importance of opening oneself to nature's voice. Mayhap she will listen to you. But we have discussed our wayward young friend's education enough. Let us speak instead of one of my more willing pupils, namely you. The progress you have made does you great credit, Cater. Though you are yet new to the art of conjury, you are no stranger to nature's embrace. Considering all that you have learned, I hope you understand the true significance of these words. Greetings, Cater. Each time we meet, the part of conjurer befits you ever better. In your previous lesson, you learned about the element of earth. It is my desire that you next become acquainted with the wind. Travel to Full Flower Combe in the East Shroud, and seek the teachings of Hera Wulfia. Though scant few years have passed since her coming of age, Wulfia is a conjurer of consummate skill who is able to divine the will of air elementals with uncommon clarity. I can recommend no better tutor for your lessons in the mysteries of wind.
You must be Cater. Brother E-Sumi-Yan sent word to expect you. It shall be my pleasure to instruct you on the patterns of gusts and gales. Now, how to proceed? Pray forgive my hesitation. It was but recently that I attained the title of hero and, well, you are my first student. Yes, I believe I have a suitable task for you. To the east of Sweet Bloom Pier, there is a small spring, giving rise to a pool. Go there and clear the air of the honeybee swarm which lately took up residence in the area. You seem uncertain. Mayhap you wonder at the connection between my request and the subject of your study? I sympathize, Cater. But trust me, inexperienced though I may seem, this deed will deepen your understanding of wind. Welcome back. I take it the bees are no more? Tell me, did you happen to notice many of the Vilcan's preferred flowers in the vicinity of the spring? I ask because there were none. Strange then, is it not, that the bees should choose to congregate there? And what has caused this aberrant behavior? Still your mind and reach out with your senses. Can you feel it? The path of the wind veers from its natural course, sweeping hapless creatures along in its wake. Something is playing havoc with the air currents. Such a disturbance bespeaks corruption. Return to the spring near Sweet Bloom Pier and search for pockets of corrupted air. Should you find one, use your powers of conjury to disperse it. The sprite's presence is palpable. You should not face it alone. Leave the healing to me. Channel your energies into offense. Well done. The wind no longer keens its frustration. Let us return to full flower. I must apologize for exposing you to such danger. The corruption was greater than I anticipated. But it is through such trials that we flourish as conjurers. Now then, Cater, what did you learn as you struggled within the air's grasp? You will doubtless have noticed that wind does not strike with the instant, crushing force of earth. Instead, it torments one's form, dancing across every surface and leaving 1,000 tiny wounds in its wake. These are the agonies of erosion. Having experienced such pain, you are now intimately acquainted with wind's capacity for patient destruction. No land is a stranger to its power. When you stand under distant skies and feel the wind's familiar caress upon your skin, remember the lessons you have learned here this day. I suppose I should be grateful that this latest elemental disturbance manifested itself at such an opportune time. Only the gods know what I would have taught you had it not. Yet the growing frequency of such phenomena begins to concern me. While it is true that the calamity wrought much harm upon the 12's wood, I suspect some other force is at work here. I bid you remain wary, Cater. But enough of these ominous rumblings. I regret to say that your time with me is at an end. Return to Stillglade Fane and inform Brother E-Sumi of your newfound mastery, and be sure to thank him for sending me such a willing first student.
Welcome back, Cater. The elementals inform me that you have opened your ears to the voice of the wind. That is well. Having made allies of 2 elements, you are well on your way along the path of Conjury, though full comprehension of these forces will only come to you in the fullness of time. Be patient. As you seek to embrace nature more fully, so will nature hold you more closely.
They made you study wind? Why bother? You don't need wind to heal things, whatever those dreary lessons tell you.
Conjury is inextricably bound with nature, Sylpha. That dreary lesson is one you should have learned by now. I assume by your presence here that you have once again abandoned your tutors. You must understand, if you persist in casting spells without the proper knowledge.
I have all the knowledge I need. My mother never needed to embrace nature to heal. And the people she helped were thankful for her art. I'll learn Conjury the same way she did, and become just as great a conjurer, you'll see. But I didn't come here to argue with you, Brother E-Sumi. I wanted to tell you that I've discovered how to—
How? What were you thinking, girl? You know not what you do, what you risk. You are meddling with forces beyond your comprehension. Should you even attempt to use that spell, I will have no recourse but to strip you of the name of conjurer and banish you from our halls. Do I make myself clear?
Why must you be so angry with me? It's not as if I were trying to hurt anyone.
But that's, Sylpha, my dear child. That is precisely the point. My apologies, Cater. I hope you do not find these constant disruptions distracting. As you have just heard, Sylpha's mother was also a conjurer who was unable to use any spells outside of the sphere of healing. Needless to say, Sylpha seeks to emulate her in every way. It is a rare and wondrous talent to heal without relying on the energies of nature. But such power is not born of true conjury. By all that we know of the art, it should not be possible for Sylpha to cast rays. I shudder to think what would happen if she tried. I fear my inability to set her upon the true path reflects my own failings as a teacher. I am only glad that those same failings have not hindered you. Whether it be with my help or in spite of it, I believe that you will become a fine conjurer. Already, you are blessed with great power, and more shall be yours should you persevere with our art, as indeed I hope you shall. Yet however much you grow, however powerful you become, remember that ours is a power borrowed, not taken. It is good to see you again, Kater. By the aura you exude, it is plain you have grown further as a conjurer. The time is come that you acquaint yourself with the third element of our art, water. For the first part of your lesson, you are to take this flask of pristine water and pour it at the foot of the hedge tree found near the hawthorn hut. The water's purity will draw forth the corrupting entity that is siphoning the tree's life force. Dispatch this being, and then speak with Brother Josen at the hawthorn hut. As you might expect, he is a conjurer with a fine ear for the murmurings of brook and stream. Listen well to his advice if you would learn to master the element of water. Greetings, Kater. Brother E-Sumi informed me of your coming. I assume it was you who purified the befouled water at the hedge tree? The joyous bubbling of the elementals was a pleasure to hear. On behalf of both them and myself, I thank you. Now, without further ado, let us speak of that which Brother E-Sumi sent you here to learn. I trust you did not find it strange to be asked to tend to a tree when your lesson this day concerns the element of water. One need not have studied botany to realize that the forest requires more than rich soil to flourish. Water is essential for carrying the nutrients in the earth from a tree's roots all the way to the very tips of its leaves. This precious liquid is the lifeblood of the 12's wood. Without it, naught would grow. But should it rise in too great a volume, and too swiftly, the nourishing flow will become a crashing wave that washes away all before it. It is important to realize that all of nature is in balance. As Conjury derives its power from nature, we must take care not to use our art in a manner like to disrupt this state. Ever must we be mindful of the ceaseless tug of war embodied in creation, this fruitful stalemate of the elements. Brother Josen, are you about? I am here, sir. What has transpired? A herd o' young antelope stags has gone berserk. I dunno what's got 'em so panicked, but there's no common 'em now. The mad beasts scored the soldiers sent to shepherd 'em away from civilian settlements, leaving us with a pile o' wounded over at Jocelyn's Spire, and not enough hands to stanch the bleedin'. We need a healer, and fast. Curious. I sensed nothing amiss in the whisperings of the elementals. What could have frightened these antelopes so? Apologies. I shall revisit these musings anon. Let us make haste. If matters are as chaotic as you say, I fear the number of injured may be rising as we speak. I doubt that we two will suffice. We must divide our forces. Kater, travel straightway to Jocelyn's Spire and tend to the wounded. I shall endeavor to rally further healers, and follow after you bearing what restorative unguents I can. You, sir, head to Stillglade Fane and beseech the aid of Brother E-Sumi. Who are? A conjurer, you say? Praise Nafika. You've come not a moment too soon, Sounds like yet more wounded have just been carried in. Pray offer them what aid you can. I can breathe again. Thank you.
These folk are out of danger for the present, but I fear our reprieve shall be brief. The battle with the stags yet rages, and there are reports of yet more wounded. I bid you join the wood whalers and help put an end to this. Seek them just off the road that leads to the northeast. And do not worry, my art should be sufficient to prevent matters from worsening here. Now, go. The conjurer from the guild. Well, tell Brother E-Sumi if you want, I don't care. I'm not going to stand by and watch while people bleed to death.
Come to lend a hand, have you? Quickly. The fight is this way. Conjurer. Your aid.
This soldier needs all my attention. Please, help the other wood whalers.
Stand firm. On your guard. There are more of them. miss.
I am fine. Don't mind me.
Pray tell me that we are not too late. Sylpha, what have you done? I forbade you from using such methods.
Guildmaster.
I will not see you repeat your mother's mistakes.
My mother never did anything wrong.
Cater, may I ask that you follow her, please? I fear my presence will only serve to provoke her further. She cannot have gone far in her weakened state.
I don't understand. When I try to cast spells, nothing happens. When I reach for my power, there's just nothing there. Is this what the Guildmaster was trying to warn me about? He said I was repeating my mother's mistakes. The same thing happened to her, losing her magic, I mean. And then she. Am I going to die? This can't be happening. I didn't think. Please. I need to be alone.
Cater, you have returned at last. Were you able to speak with Sylpha? I see. I once taught you that conjurers harness the power of nature that we might bring about change. Earth, wind, water, healing, the principle is no different. For the art of mending, we draw on the boundless life force of nature and bestow it upon the wounded. Sylpha has never sought to borrow from that bounty. Her power to heal stems from her own life force. The vital energies of mortals are, however, finite, and now that which I most feared has come to pass. Her mother unwittingly took her own life through the continued use of her healing skills. And Sylpha's aptitude for the art is, if anything, even greater. Thus it is not unexpected that she should reach the limits of her strength at a much earlier age. If we do not intervene, this terrible tragedy will be repeated, and I for one could not bear to see the child suffer the same fate as her mother. I shall think on a solution to this dark dilemma. It may be that I will have need of your assistance in the near future, Cater. Do not doubt your abilities. You are a conjurer who has passed the trials of earth, wind, and water. You grow closer to nature with every passing day, and I sense within you the seeds of greatness. In your encounter with water, you learned its role as a bringer of life. But you also felt the implacable power of a surging wave as it swept you along in its path. Like earth and wind, and nature at large, the element of water is possessed of more than one aspect. Having completed the third lesson, I am satisfied that you have mastered the fundamentals of conjuring. Yet this is but the beginning of your journey. Henceforth, you must strive to attune yourself ever more closely to the elements, and to nature. Greetings, Cater. You radiate the confidence of a conjurer who neglects not his study of the elements. I confess, I have no lesson for you to learn this day. Instead, I would ask that you aid me in the education of another. Yes, I speak of Sylpha. After no small amount of prompting, bordering on coercion, the child has finally promised to attempt to embrace the forces of nature. But I am afraid the matter is not so easily resolved. Sylphy has never attempted to learn the basic offensive spells that you and most other conjurers mastered before first venturing into the wild. As such, she is ill-equipped to undertake the trials which furnished you and your peers with an understanding of the elements. Put simply, she is no match for the tainted spirits of nature. But if a more capable conjurer were to accompany her and purify the corruption in her stead, it may yet serve to impress upon her the power of the forces at work. I bid you take her on a pilgrimage around the 12's Wood, and give her the opportunity to witness these confrontations firsthand. Earth, wind, water, she must know them all. Show her the majesty and primal ferocity of nature. As it was with you, let Earth be her first lesson. Sylphie awaits you at Bent Branch Meadows. Pray forgive my presumption, but I thought it best to send her on ahead while her conviction remains strong. Once you have located the patch of corrupted soil at Bent Branch, draw forth the tainted sprite and let her witness the struggle that ensues. May the elementals aid you in this endeavor, Cater.
I wasn't scared. I was, just a little startled, that's all. It was as if a mass of solid wrath had erupted from the ground. I've never felt anything, Lee. I mean, never mind. We have to head to the Bannock next. Let's get this over with. Gods. The wind blew straight through me. It felt both gentle and sharp at the same time. I can't explain it. This is something you can conjure? Let's be on our way. The last one is at Lilystone. The tainted water is here. Show me how it's done, then. The lake is so beautiful. I never noticed how clearly the sky is reflected in its surface. I never noticed. Let's head back. I'm ready to speak with the guild master now.
Welcome back, my avid conjurers. How fared you in your encounter with the elements? Sylpha, what did you sense as Cater cleansed the sources of corruption?
It's hard to explain. It was like hearing voices crying out in joy. And I felt their happiness wash over me. The world seemed sharper, more alive. It was almost as if nature were speaking to me. But why, Brother E-Sumi? Why did my mother teach me to avoid this side of Conjury? What was she so afraid of?
There are certain truths that hide behind the mask of our words, and there is much that your mother didn't tell you. But you needn't seek all the answers at once, Sylpha. Even now, your mind founders amid a sudden inundation of awareness. The first time we connect with nature can be a wonderful but disorienting experience. I suggest you allow yourself some time to adjust to this new perspective.
Yes, Guildmaster.
You have my gratitude, Cater. Thanks to you, Sylphie has taken a most important step. You heard her mention voices crying out in joy, did you not? It appears the mother's gift has been passed on to the daughter. Such sensitivity is not something one can achieve through meditation and training, but a blessing that only a few fortunate chosen receive. And, as you have no doubt surmised, Sylpha's mother was one such person. The misunderstanding of that blessing, however, was what led her down such a tragic path. We cannot allow Sylpha's astonishing talents to consume her in the same manner. But we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. The girl has barely awoken to her potential. And for that potential to be fully realized, your support is yet needed. I suspect she failed to mention that the promise of your involvement in her lessons was the reason for her change of heart. Ah, you underestimate the impression your quiet determination has made on young Sylpha. If modesty prevents you from acknowledging your own good deed, consider this task a part of your training, for conjurers are healers of wounds, be they physical or otherwise. Walk with her on her journey, Cater, and together explore the myriad mysteries of nature. Welcome, Cater. The tales of your deeds reach me even here in the cloistered heart of Stillglade Fane. Glad I am that you have come, for I would ask your assistance in a matter of some delicacy. As you can no doubt imagine, the recent revelations concerning her mother have sorely troubled the poor child. It appears Sylpha needed some time alone to sort through the whirlwind of emotions which now beset her. She has, in short, fled from the guild. Fortunately, a party of conjurers who were dispatched to the South Shroud to investigate another instance of corruption sent word that they have spotted our wayward Sylpha. Considering the importance of their mission, I would not seek to distract the conjurers from their task. Thus, I turn to you to escort Sylpha back here to the guild. You are, I believe, one of the few people to whom she will listen. Pray travel to Buscaran Struthers and speak with Wulfia. She was the conjurer who first chanced upon Sylpha, and will be able to tell you more of how the young lady fares. Cater, you have grown much since last we spoke of the mysteries of Earth. Though you are no doubt capable of defending yourself, I must nonetheless advise you against venturing out into the wilds until such time as balance has been restored. Wulfia divines the will of air, Nalanal is deeply rooted in earth, and I claim some small degree of mastery over water. False modesty aside, that we three were chosen to respond to this disturbance suggests that the situation is dire indeed.
We meet again, Cater. I assume Brother E-Sumi warned you of the corruption my companions and I have been tasked with purifying here in the South Shroud? The source of this extensive blight is found to the southeast. The shrill, discordant voices of the elementals shriek their dismay in the vicinity of the withered treant. I suggest you give the area a wide berth. Considering the potential dangers, you might imagine how alarmed I was to discover young Sylphie wandering about this part of the Twelves Wood. It seems that her mother, a woman who healed with Conjury, but remained untrained by the guild, called this region her home. Sylphie herself had her head buried in some manner of tome, but if she is as sensitive to the elementals' murmurings as I am led to believe, then the din within her mind must be driving her to distraction. Pray speak with the child and see that she is well. I would do so myself if our current duty were not so pressing. We will, in fact, be setting out at any moment. Cater? Ah, I should have known that Wolfio would tattle on me. And Brother E-Sumi sent you to take me back, didn't he? This is where my mother used to live, you know. Right up until she passed on, folk were grateful for the healing she offered. And this is the journal she used to keep. There's an entry that explains how nature becomes furious when conjurers use their art, how there are always more people wounded in battles when mortals abuse the power that is not theirs to take. My mother refused to draw on nature, because she was scared of making it angry. She wouldn't lie about such things, and I want to do what she would have wanted. I'm going to stop using Conjury altogether. I've never heard the voices this mad before. I bet it's because Wolfio and the others are overusing their art. We have to go and stop them. Gods, it's so loud. Can't you hear it? Nature is shrieking in rage. Nature is angry with us, you mustn't use any more Conjury. We are only making nature more furious. Even the creatures of the woods know this is wrong. Now nature sends thunder and lightning against us, what more proof do you need? Elementals? Are they angry too? We're really in trouble now. The elementals are helping us?
You possess quite an affinity for the elements. That was most impressive.
Thank you for your timely assistance. With the origin of the corruption now neutralized, we should be able to cleanse whatever traces remain.
Never has the earth so confounded me. I must apologize.
I can't believe nature actually helped us. There was nothing scary about it at all. I might still wonder if it really was safe for conjurers to borrow that power if I hadn't seen the way you wield it. Nothing could seem more natural. I think it's time I went back to the guild. There are a few things I need to collect first, so, please, go on ahead without me.
Welcome back, Kater. And you also, Sylpha.
Brother E-Sumi, I'm sorry I ran away like that.
I understand, child. Did you find the answers you sought?
Yes, thanks to Kater. He showed me that nature was nothing to be afraid of. I think I know why my mother refused to call upon its power. She believed the act caused suffering to nature itself.
I see. So it was her very love for nature that prevented her from drawing on its strength. Tell me, Sylpha, has the fog of indecision now lifted from your mind?
It has, Guildmaster. I understand now why my mother chose the path she did.
Full glad am I to hear that, for I must ask of you one more question.
Yes, Brother E-Sumi.
When you first witnessed Kater cleanse a corrupted element, you mentioned hearing voices. How exactly did they sound?
The voices? Well, they sounded joyful, like a crowd letting out a sudden cheer. I really heard them, I swear.
I am sure you did, Sylpha. This is a gift. Conjurers may sense the power of nature, and borrow from its strength. But not all can hear its whispers. What you describe are the voices of the elementals. You may very well possess the talent to become a hearer.
A hearer?
Of course, much relies on your studies of conjury. You have a natural aptitude, but have thus far lacked commitment. You must not neglect your training, Sylpha. Putting aside such matters for a moment, I am curious to hear about the disturbance you observed in the South Shroud, Kater. I assume from the reports I have received that it was of a different magnitude to those which you have previously encountered. Am I correct? This bodes ill. The creatures known as mud pies are not native to the 12's wood. I wonder what relation this may have to the seemingly ever-increasing frequency of these disturbances. Something beyond the damage wrought by the calamity afflicts the 12's wood. I shall commune with the elementals and seek to identify this threat. Kater, Sylpha, I may have need of you both before long. Until then, give yourselves over to the study of our art. Ever shall the earth meet your footfall, and the wind guide your path. Ah, Kater, your presence here is most welcome. I have another task to which your maturing skills are well suited. Expansive wounds that ooze corruption have formed throughout the forest. After examining the traces of the sizable disturbance you previously cleansed, I can only conclude that this phenomenon is the work of a malign agent. It must be found swiftly, lest the corruption spread, and I would have you assist in the investiga.
Guildmaster. You must let me help.
Sylpha.
Since I got back from the South Shroud, I've spent all my time studying the forces of nature. I even sat through one of Healer Nalanal's lectures. The 12's wood is crying out in pain. My skills are still a bit lacking in some areas, but I want to do what I can for the forest.
Lacking? Sylpha, you have yet to master a single offensive spell. Without the means to defend yourself, it would be far too dangerous to send you off into the forest alone.
So I am to stay here, then?
Not necessarily. Kater, with your consent, I would have Sylphy accompany you once more. I do not propose this arrangement solely with her safety in mind. Given the nature of the investigation, it is like that Sylpha's innate talent for hearing will prove as useful to you as your conjury will to her. There is much you might accomplish together. Sylpha, you are not to approach any sources of corruption without Cater at your side. Do I make myself clear? And should you chance to encounter the origin of these disturbances, do not initiate a confrontation. Too often, you allow your curiosity to overwhelm your good sense. Now go, and may the elementals watch over you.
Yes, Guildmaster. Something tells me we should start at Quarry Mill in the South Shroud. Meet me there as soon as you can, Cater. And hurry, the corruption is spreading. There's the tainted soil, Cater. Please do what you can. That was brilliant, Cater. But it was only the start. The forest still groans in pain, I can hear it. I think it's coming from the north, no, the northeast. Let's go and have a look. More corrupted soil. Over to you. You're doing really well, Cater, but I think there's another one. And, well, it calls to me even more fervently than the last. It's to the east, I think. Yes, to the east. Right there, Cater. This corruption is everywhere. Nice work, the earth here feels healed. And yet, there's another disturbance. And it's big. Really big. It's hard to describe, but it feels, sort of, wrong. I think it might be what's causing all of this. I know Brother E-Sumi said we weren't to confront it, but we can't just let it corrupt the rest of the forest. And however powerful it is, it can't be any more powerful than you. You're amazing. What I mean to say is, I'm willing to risk a scolding if you are. It's not far from here, somewhere to the southeast, I think. Shall we at least have a closer look? I don't think you need to be able to hear the voices of the forest to notice that, do you, Cater? The corruption is definitely coming from somewhere around here. That's odd. As soon as we arrived, that sense of wrongness I had suddenly felt less, well, it just felt less. It's almost as if it's holding its breath. Or hiding. Do you see that? Just in that one spot, there, the air seems wrong. Ah. This creature is a void scent. I've heard Brother E-Sumi speak of them. Be careful, Cater, you'll be paralyzed if you meet its gaze. The corruption attracts the worst kind of monsters. The power of nature is so incredible, I feel like I can do anything. Hat. Ha hat. Ah ha 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 ha. Isn't it amazing, Cater? Did the breeze always feel this good? Was the ground always this warm? I'm so glad I finally understand. I just wish I could tell my mother how incredible nature feels. Oh, you're injured. Here. Don't worry, healing doesn't drain me anymore. Not since I learned how to borrow from nature. And I have you to thank for that, Cater. Let's return to the guild. We have to explain everything to Brother E-Sumi.
Welcome back, Cater, Sylpha.
Our mission was a success, Guildmaster.
Quite. I take it the two of you conspired to defy my orders.
Well, the forest was suffering. We couldn't just walk away. It's not Cater's fault. It's mine. It was all my idea. I take full responsibility.
Calm yourself, child. You did nothing I did not foresee. I am of no mind to lecture you. Indeed, Gridania is indebted to you for your heroic deeds. The corruption born of Akoman had taken root in the calamity-weakened soil. There is no telling how much further it might have spread if you had not defeated the creature. and if I am not mistaken, Sylphy, you succeeded in drawing upon the energies of nature during the battle.
How did you? Yes. Yes, I did. I'm not really sure how it happened. I remember thinking how badly I wanted to help Cater, and then I suddenly felt the power surging through me.
That is as it should be. One does not simply choose to borrow from nature's strength. The mind may command only that which the heart permits. In your desperation to help your friend, you opened your heart to nature, and nature responded to your need. But we must not forget your part in this, Cater. It is clear to me that your journey with Sylphy has brought you still closer to the pinnacle of our art. I believe you are ready for the last of my teachings. Thus it is with great pleasure that I pass on another of our guild's magics. A more potent form of the cure spell is now yours to command. I have no doubt that it will serve you well in your continuing endeavors. Wheresoever you go, nature will go with you, my friend. Ever shall the earth meet your footfall, and the wind guide your path.